First of all, when something comes in as tone, so it tells you it's being stolen from reggaeton, you know? So that already, like, you're already failing on your way in. I love Trio Mio, Wakadinali, you know? I love Sauti Soul, of course. You know what I'll tell the young people that come into the industry? Awards don't mean anything. We know what they mean, but also they don't mean anything. Bob Marley and Fela Kuti never got a Grammy nomination. So what other inspiration do you need? So it tells you that's the time we were backing up GidiGidi MajiMaji. When they did the US tour, Jabali Afrika was backing up GidiGidi MajiMaji. So let's not kill ourselves trying to win a Grammy and then forget about the art, you know?
And let us know what it is that you do.
My name is Josek Asikoye, aka Muzi. I'm from Jabali Afrika, and I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, Grammy nominated. Let me put that out.
Okay, go on.
But also, anyway, my link with the whole project that we're doing here, I first met Razak while he was touring, when they were touring with Kanan. At that time, we met at Reggae on the River. That's the time we were backing up GidiGidi MajiMaji. When they did the US tour, Jabali Afrika was backing up GidiGidi MajiMaji. So at that time on the bill, Kanan was playing with GidiGidi, were the ones representing Africa and us, you know? So that's where the link was. And then the time that Razak moved here, I didn't know that he was in Nairobi. So I was coming back from our tours, back and forth the way we do our tours every year. So I come to Nairobi, and Razak, I see him, he posts a picture on his Instagram, he's in Nairobi. So we go into the DM, say, oh, I'm in town, oh, you're in town, we link up. So from that link up, we had a crew that came into town, including some of the artist producers that he was traveling with, you know? So that's where the link was. So when this project was, when Jimmy was working on this project, he hit up Razak. And Razak asked me, they asked us, Jabali Afrika, to do percussions on the project, you know? So, but from that angle too, Jimmy being the creative that he is, he was seeing other elements that he wanted to incorporate into the project. So we brought in the Kenya Boys Choir. And apart from bringing the Kenya Boys Choir, we brought in Ninga Melodies, and also we brought in the talented Michelle Ongaro, you know, into the project. So all these elements, I just brought them to Jimmy. Jimmy was trying to figure out how can he incorporate them into the project. So that's where I come in.
Amazing.
Why this project is important to Kenya.
Yes.
I have to keep that clear. Jimmy would have gone anywhere else in Africa.
Yeah.
You know, doing a Bob Marley project is not, it's an honor just to be considered to be part and parcel of that. So them coming to Nairobi, because of Razak was the link that brought Jimmy in here, I feel like it's a big honor to the continent, because we know this project would have gone anywhere else, but they chose to come to Kenya. So, which I'm grateful that it came to Kenya, because it also exposed the elements of our music that is never exposed out there, you know? If Jimmy and Razak can see those elements, you know, how come we don't see them here? So we cannot say Kenyan music is inferior. So that's what I wanted to add on that.
Oh, amazing. And so what was your reaction when, like, Razak told you him and Jimmy are working on this and was like, we want you in on board the project? Like, what was your first reaction?
I was excited because I'm a big Bob Marley fan, number one. And the fact that it was Razak calling me, I was also, as I told you guys before African music started popping the way it's popping right now, Razak and Kanan already put us out there. They're the first people who brought Africa out in the mainstream. And when I say that, I toured the US for a very long time. And mostly at that time, African music was in pockets. Even though African music was so superior, it was still in pockets. We were not on mainstream radio. We were not on Hot 97. We were on public radio, NPR kind of stations. So when Kanan and them came into the scene, African music was taken to places that it has never been, you know? And right now, a lot of people think like African music getting on mainstream radio it's like the Afrobeat, Amapiano craze that is going on. No, Kanan and Razak, they did that before. So when we saw that as people who are also touring in the US, it was very exciting just seeing African music in places that it was never given that opportunity. So, and that's why it's very important. It's very important to look at this project in the eyes of a creative and in the eyes of Africa Rising kind of vibe.
Amazing, amazing. So what's your take on Kenyan music right now?
I like what's happening. I like what these young people are doing. They're disrupting the space. But all I will insist on, especially in the Kenyan side, we have to be original. You know, originality, originality, originality. When you look at the Afrobeat craze, it's the vibe is a West African vibe. When you look at Amapiano, it's a South African vibe. So, what's the Kenyan vibe? We have to find that out, you know? So there's so many elements that they can incorporate, and that's what I'm basically doing here with Razak and other creatives in Manifest Africa.
I mean, there's Gengetone and Arbantone. Have you heard of the two genres?
So, first of all, when something comes in as tone, so it tells you it's being stolen from reggaeton, you know? So that already, like, you are already failing on your way in. I like what's happening.
Yes.
So, and it's a challenge to the producers. I think we need to have, our producers need to be more creative. I cannot blame these young kids when they come into the studio and they want a beat, you know? So a lot of our producers are taking the lazy approach of trying to copy something that is already out there. All I'm trying to tell them is just tap into your own sounds, sample into your own sounds. Troubadour, Kanan's album, Waving the Flag and all that stuff, it was sampled from East Africa. You see? So when you listen to that sound, and it was an international sound, you know, it was a global sound. So what I'm trying to challenge the producers, all the Gengetone and the Arbantone, I like what the kids are doing, but I think the producers are a little bit letting these kids down, because as producers, we need to be creative and come up with a sound that is ours, you know?
Yes.
I've seen production companies from the West, you know, whereby they're using sounds of the native Indians to create their music, you know? I've seen guys use their own sounds to create their own sound. The reggaeton, it was basically, it's based on Latin music, even though we know it comes from reggae.
Yeah.
You get my point? So when you call this tone stuff, try and create something, you know? I like the vibe when they say genge. That was at least something original from here.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to encourage a lot of our producers to come up with vibes that will adapt to what we are, you know? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to come up, huddle up, stay in a room and say like, yo, you know what? We're going to Mombasa. We're going to create a sound. Let's create a sound from...
Or like Tarab.
Yes, from Tarab, Sengenya. We just said, let's do the influence of these sounds, you know? We've seen Paul Simon do the same thing with Graceland. Paul Simon went to South Africa. What did he do? He created from the South African sound, you know? So it's not, if Paul Simon could do that in Africa, why can't us Kenyans and us Africans do the same thing?
Speaking about Kenyan music, do you have a favorite artist?
Yes, I have a lot of favorite artists that I'm working with.
Let us on.
I love Mbogi Genje.
Okay.
You know, Unexpected. I've had an opportunity to work with them. I love Trio Mio, Wakadinali, you know. I love Sauti Sol, of course, you know. So we are listening to all these sounds that are happening in here. But we are also in the studio and trying to coordinate and to collaborate and bring in collaborations from the West into the artists who are working here in Kenya.
Do you think this new artists are the wave we've been waiting for? Like, are they the ones to take Kenya to that next spot?
I think Kenya is on the next spot. All we need to do is like, you see, I believe the talent is there.
Yes.
But we need to get away with the gatekeeping. The gatekeeping somehow messes us up a little bit. You know, when you're talking about programming on radio, programming on TV, you know, we need to find guys who know how to tap into what is ours and who can see who's the next one, you know, who got it, you know. and then we just get that support. It's not the lack of talent, but it's the way we run the talent here, you know?
Amazing. So as we wind up, what word of advice would you give to the creatives in the industry, or people hoping to get into the industry and they feel like maybe it's saturated or there's no breakthrough? Because like, yeah, even last year this year we only had like one Kenyan nominated in the Grammy Awards, although it's a new section that they have introduced. So what would you tell the young people who want to get into the industry?
What I'll tell the young people that come into the industry, awards don't mean anything. We know what they mean, but also they don't mean anything. Bob Marley and Fela Kuti never got a Grammy nomination. So what other inspiration do you need? So it tells you they created great music. So what I tell them is like, keep working and try to be original, number one. And also just have a purpose, you know? If you look at all these great artists, like I'll give you an example. Kanan just won a Grammy this year on the song he did, Refugee. He was not doing
that's his first Grammy, was it?
First Grammy, yes. He was not doing it for the Grammys, but somehow the Grammys found him, you know? The song had purpose, you know? He wrote that stuff. Like if you study how these great artists did their works, a good example is also Bob Marley. The way they created their music. Yeah. It was a mission, they were on a mission. They had a purpose. So let's not kill ourselves trying to win a Grammy and then forget about the art, you know? It starts with the art, you know? So we should pay attention to the art and just be positive and try to be original. You'll go places.
And that's it.
That's it.
Cool. It's been amazing having you here, and I wish you all the best with the project. Cannot wait to listen to the magic that you guys create.
Thank you.